Loneliness is gradually becoming a chronic disease of the modern century. In recent years in the United States, the term loneliness pandemic has been frequently used to describe the phenomenon in which a large portion of the population often feels prolonged loneliness. According to a report by the Harvard Graduate School of Education, 36% of young adults in the U.S. constantly struggle with feelings of loneliness and isolation. A study there also found that while only 50% of the baby boomer generation, those born between 1946 and 1964, feel lonely. The figure is 71% for millennials and nearly 80% for Generation Z. The paradox of modern society is that people, especially the young, are living in the golden age of connective technology yet feel lonelier than ever before. Primitive humans evolved as part of a community, but people in today's prosperous, modern society seem to be undergoing a reverse evolution, as individuals lock themselves into cages of isolation, separated from the community, and constantly feeling lonely. So, what are these cages? Have we locked ourselves in? Or have we been herded into them without realizing it? And perhaps, are modern humans gradually evolving toward loneliness? The shift of society and loneliness, according to the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. Humans belong to the primate order and share similar behaviors with other primates, including forming social groups to increase survival in harsh primitive environments. As our brains evolved to become larger and more complex, the process of maturity took longer, requiring care and protection from parents. We once lived together to watch over one another, building villages during the agricultural era. Later, we left our families to move to industrial areas and factories to boost production. Over 100 years later, as society entered the high-tech revolution, another phenomenon emerged in how humans organized their lives. We moved in large numbers to big cities, often locking ourselves inside towering skyscrapers, working from morning till night, separated from our communities, and spending most of our time alone. People move to cities to live and work because it's seen as a solution. It reduces travel time and the space needed to do almost anything. Urban planning expert Philip Rode at the LSE Cities Research Center notes that only in large cities can the development of new technology reach optimal efficiency for production and use, giving people even more reason to leave their hometowns for the city. In China, this is evident when villages in the western and central regions, the hometowns of about 280 million migrant workers, are left with only elderly residents, living alone and struggling day by day. According to WHO research, by 2030, 70% of China's population, equivalent to 1 billion people, will be concentrated in major cities. This is not unique to China. The world is witnessing the largest wave of urban migration in history, with nearly 70% of the global population expected to live in urban areas by 2050, up from 56% today. In reality, when too many people move to city centers, the psychological phenomenon of urban loneliness emerges, where young people with limited resources squeeze into tiny, box-like rooms just big enough to curl up in, working from dawn to dusk to make ends meet, and easily feeling lost in the city. This theme is often explored in cinema, in films such as Lost in Translation, 2003, and Earth and Blood, 2018. Feeling adrift in the bustling city is a universal pain found in metropolises from Beijing to New York, Ho Chi Minh City to Hanoi. The restructuring of society funnels people into boxes, isolating individuals from their communities. But that's not the whole story. Being alone doesn't necessarily mean feeling lonely. Loneliness is created by the cages that confine our minds. And so, what are these cages weighing on our spirits? Cage number 1. Materialistic consumerism. Capitalism believes the economy is most efficient when individuals possess the means of production, and the market is left to the free forces of supply and demand. Because of this, capitalism encourages excessive consumption so the market can keep growing. From there, it spawns offshoots such as consumerism, placing emphasis on constant spending and buying, and materialism, a value system where material wealth is prioritized over other values. This creates a cycle from the economy to social lifestyles, where money and possessions become the center of everything. The economy becomes addicted to growth, society becomes addicted to consumption, and people become addicted to judging each other based on profit and income. When trapped in a material-centered mindset, we pursue wealth under the illusion that it equals happiness. In the United States, the birthplace of hustle culture, people are told they must always be busy and productive to be considered valuable. It is also where self-help books thrive, a soft form of propaganda whispering daily in people's ears that if they are poor, it's because they are lazy or haven't tried hard enough. Halfway around the world, in China, the 996 work culture, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, pushes people to earn more in order to secure a spot in major cities like Beijing or Shanghai. The cost? Around 600,000 young people in China die by suicide each year due to overwork. In Japan and South Korea, the cultures of *karoshi and *warosa*, both meaning death from overwork, echo the same pressure. Society demands that individuals work harder, earn more, and only then are they deemed meaningful. All of this traps young people in an endless cycle of working from morning until night under the heavy weight of materialism, leaving them lonely in a life drained of color by the pursuit of wealth. We spend our time working to affirm our self-worth through money, cutting back on time for other relationships, and beginning to see each other as competitors in the race for who owns more wealth. Money gradually stops bringing us closer together. Instead, it makes us more guarded than ever. While workers exhaust themselves with endless labor, housing prices skyrocket, partly because so many people are flooding into big cities, and partly because the wealthy reinvest in real estate and office spaces, leaving little room for the lower classes to live and work. Homes, which should be warm shelters, are shrinking to suffocating sizes. If you're familiar with coffin homes in Hong Kong, you might not be surprised to hear about the new sleepbox rental model that has emerged in Vietnam over the past 1 to 2 years. In these places, tenants pay roughly $40 to $80 USD per month to rent a box-shaped room barely the size of a coffin, where they can only return to sleep, with almost no space for any other daily activities. The working class is truly being locked in cages, both literally and figuratively. Not only are their personal living spaces cramped, but young people are also stifled when they want to go out and have fun, because they are given few opportunities to connect. Economic development driven by real estate has allowed the wealthy to exploit land through subdivision and rental housing, further shrinking public spaces. Statistics from Hanoi's Department of Construction show that the inner city has only 63 parks and gardens, totaling 280 hectares, about 2% of the city's land area. In Ho Chi Minh City, the situation is no better, with 405 parks in total, most of which are small, privately owned projects. Young people are trapped within concrete walls, both literally and figuratively, from the moment they wake up until they close their eyes at the end of the day. Monday through Sunday, objective conditions prevent them from forming real connections with others, and if they truly want to socialize, they must go to entertainment zones, shopping malls, or restaurants, places where the capitalist cycle continues doing what it does best, draining their money and convincing them to work even harder in order to be happy. And so, we are forced deeper into loneliness, caught between earning money and spending it. In this way, people struggling at the threshold of life retreat into cocoons of concrete. Turning to another addiction, cage number 2, technology, When people think of this cage, the first thing that comes to mind is social media and the way it has led young and old alike to abandon face-to-face conversations in favor of talking to each other online. However, social media is just one example of the dark side of technology, where products, whether intentionally or unintentionally, have become tools to separate people from their communities. If you're at home and get hungry, what do? Pull up DoorDash or Uber Eats. If you're at home and want to watch a movie, what do? Fire up Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, or maybe check out Amazon Prime. If you're at home and feel like shopping, what do? Hop on Amazon or Walmart.com and grab whatever you want, fast and hassle-free. Those two words, fast and convenient are the sweet icing over a bitter truth. We're locking ourselves inside our homes because everything we need can be satisfied right there. In the past, to fulfill any need, people had to go outside, integrate with their surroundings, and interact with others to achieve their goals. In the modern technological era, all those intermediary actions have been removed. In Japan, the term *hikikomori* is no longer unfamiliar. It describes a social phenomenon where a person isolates themselves in a single room, refusing to participate in social or family life for long periods. They don't work, don't go outside, only play games and surf the web. In the past, *hikikomori* had to rely on family members to provide food. But in recent times, with the rapid development of delivery apps, this is no longer a problem. In Taiwan, for instance, a young woman was found living in a rented apartment filled with garbage. She simply sat there playing on her phone, ordering food to be delivered, living like a *hikikomori* without any obstacle. Do tech companies know about this paradox when they introduce their products to the world? It's uncertain, but one thing is clear. The CEOs of these companies tend to follow the logic of creating a market-fit product, rather than a purpose-fit product. Under the first approach, products are designed to meet the customer's immediate needs, thereby creating convenience. This isn't necessarily a wrong guiding principle from a business standpoint. It's how you build a money-making machine. But when it's the only guiding principle, the products created can have negative impacts. Because not all convenience is inherently good. Some short-term difficulties in human life exist for a reason. They act as natural alarm systems, pushing us to act and strive for long-term comfort. For example, when you cut your hand with a knife, the pain is an alert from your body telling you to bandage the wound quickly to prevent continuous bleeding that could threaten your survival. The same is true for emotions. If you feel lonely, the sadness it brings is a signal telling you to go out and seek social connections. When a technology product is created solely to remove that short-term discomfort, it risks making users forget about a deeper and more important pain that is festering beneath the surface. At that point, technology functions like opium. It offers temporary relief but never addresses the root of the problem, and may even create new problems that increase the user's dependency on it to numb the pain. That's why technology is often compared to digital opium. Meta's creation of the metaverse can be seen as a prime example of an anti-utopian tech product, designing an ultimate simulated environment that keeps people from ever leaving the small boxes they live in. People are lulled into complacency by excessive convenience, losing awareness of their own loneliness and need for connection. They end up trapped in isolated squares where they have everything for entertainment except real human bonds. To understand this more vividly, we can look at the *15 million merits episode of the series Black Mirror. There, the depicted society mirrors this reality but in an exaggerated form. Every person lives in a 5-square-meter room surrounded by high-tech screens for entertainment. They can only leave to work from morning to night, completely cut off from one another, lonely in an extreme capitalist society. But being trapped by capitalism and lulled by technology still isn't enough to push people into the deepest loneliness, unless they also want to stay isolated. This leads to the third, and most unyielding, cage: the self. When separated from society and authentic values, absorbed in the digital world where content overflows with materialistic ideals, each individual can easily fall into a loneliness maze. This maze wraps itself around young minds with shallow, superficial values, gradually leading them astray. In it, we mistake likes, shares, and interactions for real connections, and fame as proof against loneliness. Pursuing material values also turns friendship into something like curating an investment portfolio. As P. Patel wrote in *Medium, this phenomenon mirrors the quest for false prestige and admiration. Even with clear success and a glamorous life, chasing this shallow satisfaction disconnects people from reality, ultimately contributing to the loneliness pandemic. Some people don't run the maze but instead sit in its corridors, knees drawn to their chest, closing themselves off because they feel incapable of connecting. They lock themselves away and sink into the digital world's illusions, or become keyboard warriors who vent their frustrations through online attacks, temporary outlets for the anger they can't resolve in real life. Both groups, whether running or surrendering, are swallowed by the loneliness maze, realizing their solitude either at the peak of pleasure or in the depths of resentment. The common denominator is the same: a profound loneliness that comes from failing to connect with oneself and with a genuine community. If each of us remains locked in these three cages, humanity might come to resemble the worlds in Wall-E or *15 million merits, where technology is our only companion and community becomes an empty word. In the primitive era, wild beasts brought humans together for survival. Today, the beasts of modern society seem to herd us into our own separate cages. The only way to escape this loneliness maze is to untangle our own mindset. Use technology in a balanced and intentional way. And, above all, believe in the real and beautiful values of life.